Hello, back row patriots. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Chaida. I'm a Black conservative commentator and writer, and this is my podcast where I discuss relevant issues surrounding people, society, culture, and politics. I'm so happy that you're here to join me. All right, is my hair looking all right? See, I did this thing where I did like bantu knots in the front and twists in the back. I just wanted, do something different. Let me know if it's looking all right. All right, let's get rolled right into it. And today's scripture, you can find it in John 13. All right. And it's going to be a very lengthy passage. I wanted to share something that will be relevant to today's episode. And right here in John 13, verse 13, it says, "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet." And in verse 15 it says, "I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you." Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. Lovely passage. It just teaches you the heart of where God is and what he's been able to, the great things that he's been able to do for people all around him. It doesn't matter who you are. And to God, you are his son or daughter. And he loves each and every single one of us, that he didn't came here to be served, but to serve. In the beginning weeks of this administration here in Virginia, Governor Spanberger and her far left Democratic posse pushed bills increasing taxation from retail to door dashing to dog walking. Why would you need a tax increase on dog walking? Whatever. One of the big things that has stand out is Governor Spansberger bait and switch technique, campaigned as a pragmatic, moderate leader to a far left, socialist loving governor. Listeners, this is not just left versus right. It's urban versus rural, parents versus school boards, and economic anxiety versus cultural anxiety. Governor Spanberger is building the foundation of what the Commonwealth should look like under her leadership. Some of the worst parts of Minnesota and California. Taxing the Virginians to the hills, giving widespread welfare to the illegals, living in an anti-police state, bureaucratic expansion, parents losing their fundamental rights over their children, small businesses fleeing, and state leaders going wealthy. Virginia is not only for the lovers, it's also for the suckers. And for those who voted for Abigail Spanberger, you should feel like a sucker right now, because this is who you brought into the governor's seat. This is who you allowed to be the leader of our Commonwealth. Not only did Governor Abigail Spanberger lose the moderate position that she claimed that she was going to do as a governor, she's also been favoring a lot of the progressive policies that have been pushed through the state house by her far left Democratic posse. Tax increases on retail sales, including gym membership, door dashing, and dog walking. Also, there's going to be 11% sales tax on firearms. And one of the bills that they're pushing is also for machine only voting, meaning that they're eliminating hand counting the votes. They only want the votes being counted by the machines. And they're also might be doing away with the voter ID situation. Who knows? They're also prohibiting immigration law being enforced around 40 feet or so, maybe 40 yards, 40 feet, I'm not too sure, of a voting booth. Why would you, or a polling place? That's probably more appropriate, or polling place. Why do they need to have a bill like this in place? It is because they are going to be streamlining illegals to be able to cast their vote in future elections. Governor Spanberger, in just a few weeks of being governor of the Commonwealth, she has not been shy about hiding her. She has not been shy about showing her disdain for the common Virginian. Democrats in Virginia have not once been shy about their disdain for Virginia and for our values and our principles and what that means and why good working Virginians are going to be catching the brunt end of this leadership. I believe that we need to start a recall. I do not believe that Abigail Spanberger won the election fair and right. She may have won most of the votes, legal votes, but I do believe that there has been mischievous behaviors going on in certain places across the state. Because you're telling me when you look at the Virginia gubernatorial election map, the result of the race of all the votes that were counted, you really do you honestly believe that most of the people here in the Commonwealth wanted that woman to take over governor's mansion and be the first female governor? Now, here's what I truly believe. I do feel like the evangelical Republicans really screwed us in the gubernatorial race last year. I understand, I sympathize where a lot of evangelicals are at in the party. For the longest time, they have felt like they are the butt of the party because we have here in the Republican Party we have embraced so many different groups of people, as we should, and we should always be embracing people from every different walks of life. However, the basis of the Republican Party, the basis of the GOP is evangelical values, biblical values, spiritual values, values that push us to make us want to believe that in this nation that we could have that we are a nation governed by God. That is why it's one nation under God. We hold values not because we believe that it's common sense or that it is righteous or just, because our leader in heaven told govern us to believe that we should care for one another, that we should look out for one another, that we should input policies that create a more moral society, a more just society, a more heavenly society. And so I really do want to sympathize where evangelical Republicans are at. Even though they really sat out in this election and did not put their vote in for Winsome Sears, I do want this to be a conversation because we cannot lose the evangelicals. We need to do better by the people who really founded the basis of this party. And until we come to have our conversations about that, we're just going to continue to lose more elections like this. So what I really want, the basis of this video, is start a recall session. We need to hold Abigail Spanberger to her promise that she was going to run this commonwealth as a moderate leader, as a pragmatic leader, as a leader of common sense. Because being a moderate leader isn't just a style. It isn't just a saying. It's an embodiment of your leadership. Being a moderate is more than just uh, uh, being appealing to just voters. It's about not swinging to different extremes. You want to connect with everyday voters, with everyday Americans on common sense issues that may seem boring, but for the average American, it's what's keeping the lights on in their home, food in their tummies, and a prosperous society. And I feel that Abigail Spanberger lost a lot of that common sense, moderate basis when she stepped into office. Because what have you seen since she's then? Turmoil with the police, with the policing in Virginia, losing, passing an executive order that will eliminate cooperation between state and local police with federal immigration forces. She really is, as someone who has a background in law enforcement, she's really shown her disdain for law enforcement. I don't understand how police officers, even to this day, support her. So I think that if we should, there's been a petition going around being signed. I haven't signed a petition yet because I sometimes feel like, what's the point? Like, it's not going to go anywhere. Like, there used to be a time where when you signed a petition on change.org, it used to mean something. And now it feels like it's going to just go over our heads, and in just a few weeks or a couple of days, even, like, everybody's just gonna forget about it. And I don't want it to be like that, but I do feel like it's a step in the right direction. So if you don't mind, if you want to, you can sign the petition. We need to show the country, and even everyone in the state, not only everyone say, but even the country, we need to show people who this woman is. She lied about being a Trojan horse moderate. She never intended in being a common sense leader when she stepped into office. And we really need to hold the Republican Party needs to hold itself accountable. Okay, because I just have a feeling that Republicans just love to lose elections. They just love to lose elections for some reasons, because they don't know how to get a grip on cultural issues that happen on a day-to-day basis. And then on this podcast, on this channel, we take things a step further here. We take what is happening in the political space, in the cultural space, and we try to give it try to have a conversation around what needs to be happening. And right now, what I believe that needs to happen is that we need to recall the election. We need to hold Governor Abigail Spanberger to her promises. We need to be loud on these everyday issues that are happening, because the Democrats are wasting no time in Virginia into taking money away from our pockets by throwing taxes after taxes. So, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you like the episode. Join in on the conversation down in the comment section and let me know what you think about today's episode. I'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to This Is Her America, We're here to have the conversations others are afraid to touch. If today's episode challenged you, encouraged you, or gave you a new perspective, do not keep it to yourself. Share it, subscribe, and join the conversation. Follow the podcast on YouTube and all major platforms, and stay connected, because this isn't just commentary. This is conviction. Until next time, stay rooted in truth, be bold in faith, and unafraid to stand. This is her time. This is her America. From yours truly.